All right, you have been listening to Rob Pelinka addressing the media for the first time. And Rodney, there really is a lot to unpack with everything he said. But let's start with Russell Westbrook. To me, that was not a ringing endorsement that he'll be back. We'll talk to Russ and we'll figure out what's best for him going forward. He didn't name him as Anthony Davis and LeBron.
Well, he just said, he also said that he has control over that too.
Right, but he'll
So Russ has the player option, which we all know he's going to opt in at
right.
$47 million, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And then they will have conversations with him.
Yeah,
so I
he
thought
was
that
very
was
measured. Well, I think he's very measured in this moment. That should be about Frank Vogel, not to go too far down the rabbit hole on what's going to happen with Russell Westbrook and LeBron. And I know everybody's trying to pepper him. We heard some familiar voices in there asking those questions, but I'm sure they're going to pepper him with that. But I think he was being very, very measured, not to get into it too much, and so to not allow people like us to run with something.
When he was asked about how Frank Vogel found out about it, and he was asked a number of times if that put the organization in good light, he said he factually heard about the Lakers' decision from Rob Pelinka in person this morning.
Right.
And he also said he's not going to respond to media reports that were speculative and unsourced. In saying
I thought that was a great answer.
Yeah, in saying that, he's saying we didn't say that to
Right.
whoever reported it.
Correct.
I'm not going to respond to that.
Correct. I think it's it's well documented. I'm not a big Rob Pelinka fan in the way he's handled a lot of things, but I thought it was the correct answer and the right answer and a great answer to a question that is very um, controversy that they've taken a lot of heat for, saying that he found out, through a tweet that he was fired, and he in essence said that's not true, and I'm not going to comment or speculate on things that are not factual or come from me.
He did acknowledge, which everybody knew, our roster did not work. Our roster simply did not work.
Yeah.
He said everybody needs to be held accountable. The front office needs to be held accountable. He said coaches need to hold players accountable. The training staff needs to be held accountable to keep the players healthy and on the court. Who will the new coach be? There's no rush. They want to find the right person. But he did add that whoever that right person is going to have input into the roster. It will be collaborative. He talked about AD and LeBron, so if anybody thinks AD's getting traded, I don't think I'd feel that way. That he's going
Fred, come on. They said Blake Griffin wasn't getting traded and just signed a new deal, and all of a sudden the next thing you know he's out of town. So just because he says that now doesn't mean that, that's etched in stone that AD is going to be here.
Well, but he did say he would go through, again, LeBron and AD.
Yeah.
Their captains
yeah,
making
of course.
decisions.
Of course. We're talking a day after the season's over with. Of course he's going to, look, I know we want to slice and dice and dissect everything that he comes out of his mouth. And, we got you there. And we talked about, you said this. No, a week from now, they may be looking at the story. Maybe AD is on the trading block. AD is, even though what he said right now. So I'm not going to hold him accountable for saying something the day after he fired or the day of he fired Frank Vogel as the head coach on something about AD, unless he's specifically talking about AD. Yes, he's going to, as long as AD is still and LeBron are still Lakers, yes, the correct answer is to say, yes, we're going to have conversation and we're going to collaborate with our two captains. I think he's doing a really good job of handling a delicate situation because there's a lot of meat on that bone, as people would say, Freddie. I thought the most interesting thing, as we see him being done, I think the most interesting thing is that he said that I and the basketball staff, I am the ultimate decision maker.
Yeah, he made a point of that.
Yeah, so whatever you've heard, whatever input we get from LeBron or AD, at the end of the day, basketball operations and ultimately me, take full responsibility for the roster and for anything basketball related. He made a point to say that.
He did. Uh, Again, he admitted it didn't work, that they're going to correct it, they're going to fix it. People that observe this and cover the team will be curious to figure out how they're going to do that with the funds they have. He also said this. I thought it was interesting. He said, "We are the caretakers of LeBron's legacy. We are the caretakers of LeBron's legacy." And the first thing that popped into my mind, I actually wrote it down. Isn't it the Lakers' legacy that you're the caretaker of? Now, maybe it's a small point. Maybe it's large.
Wait. So, wait, go back. He said he's a caretaker of.
LeBron's legacy. So they want to surround LeBron with people that are going to fit with LeBron. And he was right when he said if he had played more games and the Lakers had been better, he would have been in the MVP conversation. There's no denying that. We are caretakers of LeBron's legacy. I just thought you're the caretaker of the Lakers' legacy, which LeBron is part of. And maybe he was just being smart and giving LeBron the credit and the respect he's due. But that one line, I kind of went, it's the Lakers' legacy that you're the caretaker of. Look at you smiling. You think I'm trying to start something.
Yeah, you are. You're being nitpicky, I think. I think it's, yes. Okay, I'm sure he watches that and say, oh, I should have said this, I should have said that. But that's not the way the world works, especially in 2022 where everything is covered and you got to try to backtrack on things that you might say or you can't misspeak. But yeah, no, there's a certain responsibility having LeBron James. Absolutely. Can it be both? Can he be caretaker since LeBron is a Laker? Can he be the caretaker of LeBron's legacy and the Lakers' legacy?
He could. He could. Well, obviously, in his role, he needs to be.
You don't think Tampa Bay and that whole organization felt a responsibility when they got Tom Brady?
Yeah. And maybe it was just the way it was phrased, or maybe it was phrased at all. It struck me. LeBron is the team. Period.
I mean, it's just not sugarcoated. He's a special player. Go down and top one or two, however you want to look at it, 2, 3 players of all time. Let's get out of the everybody's treated the same. Everybody's just players are players and coaches are coaches. No, certain players are different. Certain players get preferential treatment, and certain players are treated differently, and he's one of them.